Welcome back, guys. Unknown003 here, coming at you with another Killer Instinct character tutorial. And now, this time we got the creepy girl from Season 2, Hisako. So, she is arguably one of the most popular new characters to be released for the game. And it's hard to argue why, because super creepy. Although she has most likely the slowest walk in the game, as you can see here. Her backdash is pretty decent, but the fear is when the forward dash comes in. Yeah, super creepy. Intentionally so, of course, but yeah. Now, as for the bottom left here, you can see this is her wrath meter. We'll talk more about it as we go through the special moves and stuff, but in the meantime, let's talk about her normals. So, you got the simple light punch attacks. You got the medium, a lot better with range, of course. And her crouching medium punch is actually pretty decent with anti-airs. But also the heavy punch, pretty decent. And again, another one of those examples of like having a good anti-air if you do crouching heavy punch. It launches them pretty high up there. Enough for you to actually combo off of it, which is really cool. So, but yeah, it's just something to consider with her. Anyway, so in terms of her kicks, you know, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick. This is her heavy right here. As you can see, it's using a lot of the wrath meter, which, if anytime you're using the Naginata, which is her weapon, it will deplete some of the wrath meter, as you see there, and it will prevent you from doing specific things that I will go in depth about in a second. So yeah, that's the gist of it. And in terms of some of her like, well, if anything, her real special like normal is her back heavy kick. This is essentially her teleport. Again, really creepy, and just enough for you to get like, you can't even grab. See, like, if anything, I'll get more in depth about like what to do right after the teleport. Yeah, so you could do this. You could probably do the shadow version of this, but again, we'll talk more about it in just a second. But anyways, let's go into her first special move, which is going to be her Reka. So down forward punch. Simple. This is another one of those examples where, just like Orchid, you don't need to do the directional input all 3 times. You just simply tap a punch button, and then you get something out of it. So, first things first, her light punch is going to be her low. So, yeah, looks just like that. Her first Reka is always going to be a mid. So, consider that definitely. And the medium one is going to be her overhead. And her last one, the heavy punch, is going to be a mid. So compensate for how you use that, and don't get too obsessed with using like the low and overhead, because they are slower in startups as to the mid, you know, obviously, which will make you predictable and people will be able to punish you mid animation. So mind how you use it and just be smart about it ultimately. So yeah, that's basically the Reka. This is what the linker looks like. Here's the shadow move. Pretty good for like making more potential damage and ultimately just hurting the opponent before you do finish it off with an ender, for example, which we'll talk about right now. So if you do her heavy version of that as an ender, you get a wall splat, you could grab them, you could, however you want to do it. So I'm trying to see something here. So yeah, and you could combo off of the grab, which is really cool, right? But it is a little specific in timing. There we go. Yeah, so it's really cool to consider. And there's your quick grab tutorial right there. But yeah, she also has the air version, which is the same exact directional input, that forward punch. So an important thing to know about this is that, here, since we'll take advantage of this one here. There we go. You can use this to recapture opponents. whether here, let's see. We gotta let the wrath needs to go up for you to do it, so which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But anyway, let's go into the reuse on here, which is what the Reka is called. You can recapture opponents, which is very awesome, and no different. The shadow version will do pretty much the same thing. So it's gonna lead to some nasty damage as an anti-air option if you do get it. So yeah, freaking be mindful with that. And yeah, like Hisako is a very dangerous character to just like try to approach, because she has many different things for you to kind of defend herself. Whether it's the teleport or you got the parries and stuff, which we'll talk about right now. So you got the high parry here and the low parry. So high parry is all 3 punches, and the low parry is all 3 kicks. Now we'll do like a quick tutorial here. There we go. Alright, so we got that. Just see how often it's done. Hold on. There we go. That's what the counter looks like. And the cool thing about this is the fact that it will replenish some of the wrath meter. As I will try to show you really quick. Oh, no, I lied. It does not replenish shadow meter. Well, yeah, so that's what the high looks like. And let's do this here. Crouching heavy. I did it too soon. There we go. See, and there you go. There's low parry. And boy, is it gonna hurt if you get that punish. So yeah, that's basically what her 2 parries looks like. The high parry, you can actually parry opponents in the air. So that's one of the reasons why it's considered really good. But yeah, we'll talk about the down back punch. It's basically a command grab. If you do have full wrath meter, you can combo off of this, which is very cool. Bam. Alright, and just like the Reka, this is one of her 2 linkers that she can do. Alright, so this is what it looks like, down back punch. And if you do the heavy version, pretty damaging, but it's ultimately a hard knockdown, and it's actually not her most damaging ender. So there's that. And her last special move, really, aside from the counters, of course, is the sort of like a vacuum command grab, as I call it. It just brings the opponent closer, and if they are not jumping, they will get caught by it. So down back kick. It's a little unsettling, as you can see there. And obviously from far away, it'll bring him in a little bit. But you gotta be a little bit closer so that you can get the full effects of it. And if the opponent does not know what to do, and if they do not jump, they will ultimately lose 10% of health. And the shadow version is pretty much no different. The main difference is just the fact that it does 9% more damage, which, if you guessed it, is her most damaging ender if you do end it like that way. Oh yeah, that's gotta leave a mark. Over 50% from a sort of basic combo. But yeah, those are pretty much her special moves there, man. And, you know, you got the mobility, you got the teleports. So we'll talk a little bit about the wrath meter here. So one of the most important things to consider is that if you have wrath, you will get some stagger states on the opponent with the heavy versions if you do have like full meter. And another thing that you can do is that in the middle of the Rekas, you can choose to cancel off of the Reka and teleport to the other side. So what I like personally doing is that if you are, if you are committed to doing the cancel, you do the quick vacuum command grab, the down back kick, and you get that. So most of the time your opponents will not see that coming. Alright, so yeah, there's that. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it, of her wrath stuff. You will not be able to recapture regularly if your wrath meter is low. But one of the last things that you could do is, hold on. I'll show you an example right now. So you got, bam. Man, why did that take so long to come out? Because she has a, like, what do you call it? Auto double. You can hold the second version, or like the second hit of the auto double, so that you can throw off your opponent. And funny enough, it ends up turning into a manual, but is a true combo. Yeah, it's really handy, especially if you want to prevent yourself from getting broken. Yeah, so there's the gist of it for Hisako there, with like her special moves and stuff, her mobility, her parries, you know, like she's got some command grabs, which makes her very dangerous, but again, the main weakness from her is just the fact that she doesn't have good walking speed at all. But again, it kind of makes up for having tools to parry, you know, command grab, throw your opponent off guard. And of course, when your wrath is full, that is when you are your most dangerous, because you get more damage, you get more opportunities to combo, and especially if you have full instinct, your wrath will always be full. Yeah, so consider that even. So you can't choose to... you could be pretty damn dangerous with Hisako. And believe it or not, that is actually not... that is not the most deadly thing that she can do. If she is in... here, let me see. Hopefully it saved the... yeah, it did. Even if she does a high parry... hold on. Whenever he wants to do it, right? This will parry anything, except, of course, like grabs and fireballs and stuff. But high, low, mid attacks, overhead attacks, jumping attacks, she will be able to parry that all. So, again, that's kind of like where the benefits of, like, zoners kind of come in, and zoning, you know, like command grabs and stuff. That's where the benefit comes in. But yeah, that's basically her instinct, and that is essentially the capabilities of Hisako, man. Like, she is a very deadly character with her arsenal of, like, parries, movements, teleport, fake outs, you know, with the auto double delays. Like, she's got almost everything except for, you know, like the traditional fireball and stuff, but when she can teleport right in front of you, she doesn't necessarily need it. So she would be difficult to kind of zone out, especially since she'll be right at your face within the next moment. So that's basically the gist of her Hisako, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and again, hopefully this was good to kind of like understand with one of the probably admittedly like more difficult characters to understand if you're not really familiar with the parry, Reka type characters and stuff. So that's gonna do it for now, guys. Tune in next week where we dive into the hot man himself, Cinder, who is arguably even more difficult, but we will get to that. In the meantime, this is Unknown003 signing out. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Fight on, everyone.
Prestige Ultra.